welcome back to my channel. So this week I am going to be reorganizing my Butlers pantry. You might have seen a video that I did probably about 2 months ago where I just kind of like made my Butlers pantry look a bit more aesthetic and displayed things. And what I used to have was quite a few jars filled with food, and then I realized I didn't like that, and then I thought I would go for the more aesthetic look where you just display things. But what I've noticed more and more is that I kind of forget what ingredients I have, or I can't see them properly in my cupboards, which I'll show you in a minute. And so my plan is to take off this shelf. I don't really need all the shelves, but I'm going to clear off this shelf because I don't use any of this stuff that's on here. The coffee machine, sometimes we use it, but it's not an everyday thing. I'd much prefer instant coffee, and so I'll probably put those away in the cupboards. The book, I don't really look at that. The salt and pepper shakers, I want to put them back on the side, and the glasses can go back in the case. So I thought what I might do is clear this off, give it a clean, and then I'll show you the storage containers that I want to put on here. Mainly it's going to be probably like baking items and maybe a bit of rice and pasta, all the dry items basically. But the challenge that I have, because I've got open shelving and you can see it in the room as soon as you come in, I want it to look kind of like nice and tidy. So yeah, that's the challenge that I'm going to have, so I might have to play around with it for a while. So I hope you enjoy, and yeah, please feel free to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And I will now show you all the storage jars that I'm planning on putting on here. And then also in this video, I'll show you how I label them, because I do have a Cricut machine and it's kind of been gathering dust for a while, and this is going to give me some more motivation to use my Cricut machine. So I thought I would label the new like tubs that I've brought and been collecting for the last couple of months, and yeah, make them look a bit more organized. And yeah, I'll show you what I do with that. Okay, so in my kitchen, I'm really lucky. So I've got my Butlers pantry there, which is where I try to make everything look nice and displayed, because they are open shelving. And then I'm really lucky that I've got these cupboards here as my pantry. They're really good cupboards. They're pretty tall. They store a lot of food. And this one here is all pretty much used for food, apart from this one cupboard where I do have my bin and medicine and batteries and also dog food, things like that. I have my ovens on here. I've got 2 snacky cupboards at the bottom. And as I was saying before, when I don't have my food on display, I kind of forget what we have, and I like to see it a bit more easily, especially baking things. I usually keep my baking things in here, and they were kind of like in these containers before, which I'm slowly swapping over. And I'd get things like at the back of the cupboard that I wouldn't be able to see, and then yeah, just forget that I've got them and then buy more, and yeah, it's just a whole lot of waste. So okay, so here are the new canisters that I've been collecting. These ones I've had for a little while now. I had them displayed on my shelves with some nice pasta in them, but it was kind of more of a display option and not really like a food choice. I don't know why I did that. So I've cleaned those out. You can see that I've already got some oats in one of them. And then these are other canisters. We live in Australia, and we have a great store here called Target. You've probably heard of it. And they have started to do a lot of Kmart options. And when I went in there the other week, I saw these canisters on the reduced shelf. This size here, which is quite big, was only $6, and it's not glass, it's perspex, but it has got like a sealable top with like a wood look, and I just really liked the look of that. And I thought, right, I'm going to pick up a couple and then put them on my shelf and see what I think. And so as the weeks have gone on, I've been collecting these. So this one was only $6, so I got 4 of those ones. And then I picked up some of the little ones. I think these were $3. And then I managed to grab just one of these little ones, and I was looking, this one actually has a crack on it. I didn't notice that. But I was after a couple more of these ones. This was only $2. So every time I go to Target, if there's any on the reduced shelf, I just pick them up. And then as the years have gone on, I've always collected, I drink Moccona coffee, and they come in these big jars. We always grab the big jars when we go to Costco. They come in like a 2-pack. And then also they do these jars in Coles or Woolies. And then when we get through the coffee, I clean it out and I usually store something else in it. So I've collected quite a few of these. So at the minute I've got just some sugar in there, some coffee, and I think I've got ice and sugar in this one. I'm going to have to go through and test it all because I've kind of like filled up canisters and not put a label on. And I've got a couple of empty ones. So then I'm going to do that, and then I will put them back on the shelf, but I'm also going to label them. Okay, so the first job is to clean off the shelves. It's not going to take long because, as I say, there's not much on here and I don't really use a lot of it, so. Okay, so we've got a nice clean open shelf. I've got all my containers over here, and now I'm just going to try and rearrange them. As I said before, I've got some empty ones and I have got a few things that I want to put in them, but it is going to take a little bit of trial and error. I'll see how many of these I want on this shelf. If I need to clean off the top shelf, I probably will as well. I mean, I don't use any of the stuff up there either. It's just purely all for just display, really. So let's see how we go. If I do like a long container and then one on top, and then maybe like one of the jars next to it. So in this one, I've got self-raising flour. So I'm going to create some labels that will just go on the fronts of these here. And in this one here, I've got salt, corn flour, coffee, and maybe I should put it like this. Some white sugar, and then brown sugar, oats. I've got a couple of empty jars, empty containers, and then this one here has baking powder. I have got more baking powder, so I might put some more of that in there. That's almond milk. Okay, so this is how it's looking currently. As you can see, I have got like a couple of spare jars just behind. So I think the next thing to do, because I do quite like that, it does look a little bit cluttered. I think I don't like the tea bags in that jar showing, so I'll probably put those behind something. But I think the next thing to do would be to make some labels for it, and then we can see how it looks. And then I think eventually I'm going to clean off that top shelf, because in this cupboard here, this is where I keep like all my other jars. These are the ones that I originally had on the shelves before. I've got things like all the nuts, cranberries, all my pastas and things like that. So maybe I might put those back on the top up there. Okay, so now I'm on to making the labels for my canisters. So I've got all the different sizes of the ones that I've got here just as a guide. And then I've got my Cricut machine set up. So this is a Cricut machine. If you haven't seen one of these before, I have got a Cricut Maker 3. And basically in terms of Cricut machines, this one just cuts a lot of different materials. But you do have to buy the different blades for it. So I've just got the basic blade, which means I can cut vinyl. And that's all I ever really use it for, really. I have done quite a lot of personalising of things in the house, and I have actually got another video where I did personalise my other jars in the cupboard. So yeah, I can link that one in here because it does go through a bit more of the design process. I'm probably going to do a little bit of a different design on these ones, just because the ones that I did before looked a bit more traditional. and I want these ones to look a bit more modern. So what I'm going to do is kind of muck up some labels on here, and this is the software for the Cricut machine, and then I can kind of decide what colour vinyl I want to use. I love white because that's like a nice aesthetic, but in reality, if I put a white label on there, you're never going to see what is in there. So I'm left with black. I've got a really nice like rose gold colour, which could look really nice. So what I might do is just try and have a look in the software if I can see the colours, or just print one out as like a trial and see how the colour looks. Okay, so I've been looking at different fonts and different ways of making labels for my containers in the Butlers pantry. So this is the container. I've measured it, and I think I'm going to do 6 centimetres by 4 centimetres. But just looking at all these different fonts, like I've tried a few things, I'm not really that keen on them. And then I thought, how about I try and make a sticker? So it would be a white background with black writing, and this is one that I've mocked up. So it's 6 by 4, and this would just print out, and then I can peel it off and stick it onto my little container. So I'm thinking I might try that too. So I think that's actually the way that I'm going to go, because then I'll have all white stickers on there, which is what I actually wanted in the first place. I've got this printable vinyl, which is really easy to use, and I've got enough ink in my printer, so I might try and just print out a few of the stickers and see what they look like. Now I'm going to start designing my labels. I've got, I don't know if you can see this, I've got a square here, and at the minute I've got it as currently a 6.5 centimetre, so I'm just going to change it down a little bit, make it a tiny bit smaller. I'm thinking a 5.5, because I want it slightly at an oblong by 4.5. Yeah, I think that will be good. So I've got 5.5 by 4.5, and then now I want to get a black border all the way around it, so I'm going to add an offset. Okay, this is pretty good. Now what I want to do is make sure that these are all centered. So if I press align, center it, and then to keep these both together, I'm going to flatten it. And then now I should be able to move it as one piece. So actually I'm just going to duplicate a couple of these squares. If I grab one of my words, I found this script here, which is pretty sure it was Bell something. So look, Bell MT, that one here. Now what I need to do, because this is going to go just behind it, if I right click, bring it to the front, there it is, and then now I need to align that so it's in the center, and I'm pretty happy with that. So then now flatten the whole thing. Okay, so now I've got one whole sticker ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest, and I'll come back and show you when I'm printing them out. Okay, so here they all are. I'm pretty happy with how these have all turned out now. So I've got a spare one here, just in case I've missed anything off or I want to make another label. So I've got the template here. And then now I'm going to go and print these out on my sticker paper, and then we can cut them out on the Cricut machine. Okay, so here are how the labels have turned out. And now we need to put them on the Cricut machine so we can cut them out. Okay, so here is the Butlers pantry all finished. I love the new labels. I really love how they look on these tubs. I did print out one black vinyl one just to see how it would look, and I do like it, but yeah, I do like these ones better. They just stand out a lot more. So yeah, and these labels as well are also water resistant. So if I do need to wash them, they should be fine. Obviously I won't submerge them in water, but if I need to wipe them out or anything, they'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so that is the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you again soon for another video. Bye guys.